Feature Friday.
The freshest.
One of the most interesting, I think, aspects of your story, Jason, is and not very often do I get the chance to speak about this side of the story. It's I we used to be huge fans of like these sort of shows. Like I think 2007, 2006, we had a lot of friends that went to like American Idol. In Venezuela, like singing shows were a big deal. You know where we're from in South America, and one of the shows that obviously took the world interest was obviously The Voice, just worldwide. Yes. And not often do you get a chance to actually speak to someone who's been on it and kind of what's the behind the scenes and what's the process, because I think a lot of people also don't know that there's also like an auditioning process prior to even going there. And what was that experience like? What was the whole Voice experience like?
Well, for me personally, when I realized that I wanted to pursue music as a career, it was at the time where really the way to get it or the way to do it was joining reality singing competitions to get your name out there, to get the exposure. Because back in my day, I sound like I'm sounding like I'm aging myself. But back in my day, we didn't really have streaming yet. I mean, we had YouTube, we had those things, but it's not just as prolific. Yeah, it was just
beginning,
starting to. Yes, it was in the beginning stage. It wasn't as prolific as it is now, so we didn't really have that kind of like opportunities back then. So I think one of the main ways was to either like submit your demo tapes to labels or joining reality singing competitions. So I think when I like realized that and I wanted to really pursue a career in music, I decided that I was gonna start auditioning to the shows, the popular singing competition shows at that time. Mm-hmm. And I, for one, I'm not really I'm not really a competitive kind of person. Yeah. I don't like competition. I hate losing. I'm a sore loser. Yeah, but when I was auditioning, I just wanted, in the beginning, I wanted to just, take in the experience and see what it was like, and like putting my name out there. Maybe I could like meet somebody who can, network myself.
Of course.
But I didn't really have my goal wasn't really winning at the moment, in the beginning. Yeah. I just wanted to gain the experience for myself. But, when I realized that this really was the path for me, I started taking it seriously. Because in the beginning, because I auditioned for a lot of different shows. Nice. So the first one I auditioned was for Got Talent. We had our own version of like Philippines Got Talent here. Uh-huh. So I auditioned for that. I didn't get in. What people need to realize also that before you actually get into the show, you have to pre-audition. Yeah. So you have a couple of screenings. Here in the Philippines, what we do is we either go to the malls. The malls have like pre-auditions. So people would line up outside the malls for hours and hours to just pre-audition, and not even like we didn't even have the security of actually getting into the show. Yeah. It's just the first step to actually getting on the show. So I auditioned for 2 seasons of Got Talent. I never got a call back. And then I auditioned for X Factor. Okay. The only one season that we ever had here. But KZ Tandingan was the champion for that.
She's the one that won. Yeah, she won, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And she's a very dear friend of mine. I tell her all the time that thank God I didn't get into X Factor, because I would have been competing with you and you would have kicked my ass. So yeah, but now we're really, really good friends, and I'm a big fan of hers.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I auditioned for X Factor. I didn't get in. And then I auditioned for The Voice season 1. I didn't get a call back also for that. And I think to a certain extent, when you get a series of no's, when you get rejected a couple of times, it feels, you can feel defeated, and it feels like maybe this isn't for me, and maybe this is the wrong path this isn't my trajectory in life. So I was about to quit, because at the time when I was auditioning for shows, I quit school. I stopped school for a bit. I said, I'm gonna give myself 2 years. I'm gonna start auditioning for shows, and if I'm not gonna make it, I'm gonna go back to school.
Was it?
So
You mean? Apologies to interrupt. Is it? You mean by school like university or?
yes,
Right. Okay.
I was already in college at that time. I was already going to university. I was taking up music. Actually, I was a
Nice.
conservatory student.
Nice.
Yeah. So I said to myself, I'm gonna take 2 years off and start auditioning to these shows, trying to make it into the business. But yeah, when I didn't, because I was really looking forward to getting into The Voice, the first season, because I was a huge fan of the show. I watched the US version. I watched the original, the different countries that it was at. So I said, whenever it comes to the Philippines, I'm gonna be the first one to audition to that because I was a huge fan of the show. So I did the thing. I lined up. I went to the network. I did the audition thing. I didn't get a call back, and it was really heartbreaking. But I remember like because I got into the second level of the auditions for The Voice for the first season of The Voice, so I was kind of excited for this. Like, oh, this is far. I got farther than some of the previous auditions that I went to. So I was like, okay, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is my time. But like, okay, so I did the second edition, and they said that they were gonna call me back. It's kind of like applying for a job, and
I
when
know.
the employers tell you that don't call us, we'll call you. They're never gonna call you. So yeah, they never called me. I saw the commercial for the show on TV, and
And you were like, oh,
that was
okay.
okay.
Didn't make
Yeah,
it.
well, I didn't
Well.
make it. Yeah.
Well.
But if that's not confirmation enough, then I don't know what is. So
That must
yeah,
have been
after
heartbreaking. That must have been heartbreaking because you already
Absolutely.
had your hopes up, right? Yeah.
absolutely.
So what happened
Yeah,
next?
I was super defeated at that time, and I said to myself, like, if this doesn't go through, I'm not gonna continue. This is gonna be the last time I'm gonna audition. I'm gonna go back to school. And then of course that didn't happen because the auditions for season 2 happened, and I said, okay, this is the last one. I auditioned for that one. I had to travel for like a remote mall because some of the earlier dates have already been filled up, and I wasn't able to go to them. So I had to travel for like 2 hours to a different city to audition. And I got there. I said to myself, I gotta go there really early so that I can go there in and out. I got there 8 a.m. and I thought I was already early at that time, but the line had already like went around the block 3 times.
Whew.
So that's how many people were there auditioning for that time. And the Voice is like a huge show, so everybody wanted to get on The Voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I auditioned. I started at 8 a.m. Didn't eat anything because I don't like eating before I sing.
Yeah.
I didn't eat anything. I was in the line for my first screening. I got to sing 6 p.m. already.
Wow.
So I was in line from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Not eating anything, not just staying in the line. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to get out of the line because, I might get lost or anything. So yeah, I passed my first screening, and then I had to wait. I had to wait again for my second screening. The second time I got to sing was at 10 p.m. So if you can imagine, I was in line from 6 a.m. 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
No food.
And no food.
Because you're crazy.
I just had like a bottle of water, and for some reason I was able to survive that.
What the fuck?
It was it was like I had I had a fasting journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then when I got to the first screening, I was able to sing to the second screening. I got the "Don't call us, we'll call you" speech.
Okay.
So I was scared again because I did all of that for nothing.
Yeah.
And so I went home, forgot about it because it takes months before they actually call you. And I was thinking they're still not calling me. I didn't hear from them. Maybe this is it. Maybe I need to stop. Maybe I need to go back to school. So I did. I went back to school. I enrolled, and on my day of enrollment, like literally on the day of enrollment, after I like paid my tuition and stuff, they texted me.
No way.
And
Hey.
they called me. It's like, hey, you got it. You made it to The Voice. It's like, are you kidding me? Like I was I was gonna go back to school. But I finished my term, my semester, and while I was doing the voice, so
Right.
it worked out. It worked out anyway. But yeah, I don't think people realize that before you get on the show, you're auditioning to get on the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, when you get on the show, and then
To some
as they say,
extent,
the rest is history.
Yeah.
to some extent, like when it's before the show, where it's like some of the hardest battles.
I agree.
When
Yes.
you're on the show, it was obviously it's still difficult, and now the pressure is on as a different type of pressure. But it perhaps it's even more enjoyable. There's cameras around, you're around celebrities, you finally feel like you're
Yes.
working towards something.
Yeah.
But it's the battle prior to that one that you're like you're in no man's land, you're in the middle of nowhere, and you're putting all your eggs in one basket. So it's so cool to hear the stories before, because we've had mates and friends. Wally had a vocal coach who she went to audition to American Idol, was it?
No, he
No,
runs
in Venezuela. What was her name?
she traveled to from Venezuela to Argentina
Mhm.
to audition for the voice the Latin American Idol.
That's it. Jennifer Lopez was like one of the judges for some reason.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
yeah, it was a huge deal. So they used to travel around the whole of the southern part of the continent, so all of Latin America, and they would audition in every country. But she missed out on the dates that they were auditioning in Venezuela. So she bought a ticket and flew all the way down to Argentina to audition. And obviously, you know the story. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Pre-auditions, pre-screening, and it's absolutely nothing back.
Yeah, and when she came back and she was telling us the stories, I was like, "What the? I didn't like it."
It's like you didn't go to TV.
Yeah, it's like because a lot of people
Yeah.
like genuinely think that's like that was your first,
That's right.
and it's like, nah, dog. That this for you to get this, like this guy had been in the ring for like 12 rounds.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think a lot of people realize that before you can actually even just a little scene of you from the camera, like to be seen on the show itself, like you have to be casted. It's a very rigorous casting process. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so if it's really in your heart to do it, or like to audition for shows like that, you really have to be ready to really do the grind before you
I
can
think
actually
it's-
get to the show.